we're gonna see how this works. It's really quite windy and the sun is changing outside, so that's probably going to affect the quality of the video, but it was such a nice day outside that I couldn't stay indoors. Right now I'm sitting in Uganda, Kampala. I'm visiting my dad, and when I left Singapore I had just cancelled my contract with my modeling agency. I had been modeling actually for quite a while in Swaziland, but it was never with an agency. It's a really small community, so people knew each other and then they'd recommend one another and so on and so forth. When I moved to Singapore, I didn't model for a while. I was doing my own thing, meeting up with photographers that I really liked and doing photos for my blog, and that was kind of my own form of modeling. I was actually like too scared to go and try out to different agencies because I knew that my measurements were too big. My size measurements are actually 32 on my bust, 25 on my waist, and like 38 or 39 on my hips, depending on what season it is. Although in Singapore there aren't any seasons, so it really kind of just depends on like how stressed I am at school and how much I care about exercise. The maximum size that a lot of people will work with is 36 inches on your waist, and even then they're not going to be that easygoing about it. And I mean, even the likes of Kendall Jenner and Gigi Hadid had to lose weight if they wanted to get better jobs, so it's just kind of the way that it is. So there was a casting call for a fashion show at the National University of Singapore, and I go to Yale in US, so it's kind of attached. And because I was doing hosting at the time, one of the organizers was at an event that I was hosting, and she said, oh, you should definitely try out because you're lovely and tall. Then I went on the website and it had like measurement requirements, and I think it said, you know, the maximum size for girls was 36 inches or something on the hips. And I was like, yay, fantastic. So I sent her a text message and I was like, hey, thanks for recommending me, but I actually don't fit the requirements, so it's chill, no worries. She was like, oh, let me talk to the audience. So I go there, I go to the casting call. I think it went really well. Then a few days later, I got a call. I picked up the phone, this random number, like who the heck is calling me when I'm trying to eat my food? So I'm like wiping off my teeth. Hello? Iwani, you know, we noticed you at the casting call. We'd love for you to come into the agency next week and sign a contract with us. And I was like, yeah, sure, we made it. We are here now. And I signed that contract, obviously. Like, I mean, there was nothing in it that I was like, yeah, I guess like I should have weighed the benefits and the thingies a bit more so that I didn't end up in the position that I'm in now, which I'll explain in a second. I signed the contract, and then it was really unfortunate because a month later I was leaving for my exchange in Paris. That meant that I was going to be away for 4 months and I wouldn't be working with them, but I was like, yeah, I'll keep in touch and I will like let you know when I come back. Shakuchi chakachi. They were like, cool. I got back and I was like, hi, I'm here, like I'm ready to work again, da 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 da. I didn't hear nothing from anybody for like 3 months, and I was thinking, are you for real? At the same time, when I did get signed, they were like, you know, it would be really helpful if you could just lose like 2 inches here, an inch there. As much as it was like hard to hear, he was very frank about, you know, when you're walking down the runway, this is what designers want, this is what they don't want. They're very hesitant to work with like people who are over 36 inches, blah blah blah. I lost 2 inches on my hips, which was quite a bit. I stopped cutting out carbs, and then I was like, let me cut out sugar and reduce my meat. And that actually had like a greater effect, I think. Then finally, after days and days of just waiting for somebody to call my phone, but nobody would ring me. Finally, I got an email from the head of the agency, and he was like, are you in town? Like, we've been waiting for you to come back so we can start working with you. I told, you know, my booking agent before that I was back, and I didn't hear any response, so I thought maybe like there weren't any jobs available for me or whatever. So he emails me and he's like, are you in town? And I'm like, what? Yes, I'm in town and I'm ready to work. And he's like, okay, cool, come into the office at some point. So I was going in there with the intention that I was going to be like, listen, this is unacceptable, like I haven't worked, I don't know if this is worth keeping the contract, and I was going to be like strong, independent black woman asserting my authority all over that place like it's 2003. But he was so nice and had such a big personality that I was just like, oh, okay. And they were like, ooh, let's measure you, ooh, you're looking so good, ooh, la, la, la. We're going to send you over to this other person, da 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 da. And so I got excited. Nothing was set in stone, and I'm not blaming anybody, but it's like, I think a month, like 6 weeks went by and I still hadn't really heard anything back after that meeting, and I was like, nah, you know what, this is not working out for me. Like, I just didn't see the benefit of it. I thought, you know, maybe if I went out and looked for jobs on my own, then it would be easier. So I canceled my contract and I was like, okay, here's the thing. My main goal, and so that you also know, is that my main goal is to be an actor. Right now I'm finishing off my degree in user interface and user experience design, but that's what I'm going to use to support myself whilst I pursue a career in acting and then hopefully go to grad school in acting and da-da-da-da. So I've got to build up a portfolio. So I started like looking for opportunities myself. I got landed in 2 short films, and they were student films, so they weren't a breach of contract because I was allowed. But if I started to pursue other things, and there were casting calls for bigger roles, like that would be an issue, and I didn't know what the case would be if like I'd sourced my own job, whether I'm still giving a cut to my agency or where that comes in. So I was like, you know what, whilst I'm establishing this new part in my career, let me just like end the contract, not have any legal issues, so on and so forth. So I did. It was a really tough decision because at the onset, modeling does pay more than acting. Like for an acting job, if you're doing it for a short film, say, that's $100 per day, versus like if you do a 2-day commercial shoot for modeling, that could easily be like $2,000. And so it's like, I mean, the difference is quite astounding, and that's why I was like, whilst I start getting established, let me, you know, maybe do the modeling, and maybe modeling would give me more contacts in the filming industry or something like that. You know, it just seemed better. But I mean, I do love modeling, and I have learned how to work my body and my angles so that I do, you know, look more flattering. I know what to do with the but it's been a lot of stress, and it's been a lot of, you know, considering whether I want to start developing weird eating habits or weird bodily perceptions because somebody is telling me that like my measurements are 2 inches too big, or that, you know, my thighs have too much jiggle or something like that. I mean, in general, as a model, not even a black model, it's like there's not that many opportunities. And then being a black model, there's even fewer because people aren't really casting for that. It's only when they do something like very international that they're suddenly like, okay, we need a white one, a black one, an Asian one, a Pan-Asian one, a this, a that, a da, 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 da. But never any Indian girls, and I'm very, very suspicious. Like, it's not like I'm just being treated as any old model. It's like I am a black model, first and foremost, because I'm going by my appearance, and just not everybody's kind of looking for that. So I have 2 things going against me. I have my size being too big, and I have the fact that I'm black. Already in an industry that has diversity issues, but then you put that in an Asian context, a Southeast Asian context, and a Singaporean context, the chances just become slimmer and slimmer every time. I mean, I know a lot of black girls in Seoul do end up doing more modeling jobs just because it has a bigger market, and because of the fact that you're black, and we all know that, you know, with Korean pop culture, a lot of it's obsessed with black culture. You know, you see all of these tropes, mannerisms, music styles, dressing styles emulated or kind of converted into a Korean context, and it's like there is an obsession with like black culture but not an abundance of black people. And I think people are becoming more cognizant of that, and they're opening up more and more roles for the few black people that are there. So I was like, cool, I'm gonna pack my bags, I'm going to Korea, that's what I'm gonna do. And that's what I'm doing. I'm actually really excited. This summer I'm going to Korea. I'm just gonna go to Korea, and I'm gonna keep on making videos, taking you guys along so that you can see it. But yeah, I guess I kind of just wanted to get my thoughts out there. I could make a lot of videos, I think, about diversity in Singapore and about being a black model so far. For now, I'm just gonna leave it here. And for the people that I have modeled with, I mean, I really, really have enjoyed it, and I think that's what made me want to pursue it further. When I did a gig with an agency called Mint in Singapore, that was really cool. That was when I went to Bangkok, and I did a whole post about it on my blog. I'll put the link down below so that you can see how much fun that was. My experience thus far with the people has been good, but with the opportunities has not. So it's a lot to consider. Yeah, so thanks for listening to that. I'd love to know your thoughts about diversity in the modeling industry. I'd love to hear your thoughts about diversity in Singapore. I'd love to get a conversation going, so do comment down below. Find me on Instagram and send me a private message. I'm always responding to those. Otherwise, you can also send me a message on my Facebook page, or you can hit me up on Twitter. All of that will be in the description box down below. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you with more videos of my time here in Kampala before I head back to Singapore for 2 weeks, and then to Seoul for 2 months. So many, many things ahead. There's something inside you.